already. So
Yeah. Hey y'all.
what happened to Maya? She's leaving us again.
She went back into hiding. She ran back among the trees.
She really leaves us a lot.
I know. I know. Well, when you do your women's one, maybe she can join us for that one too.
No, she's gonna leave us then too.
She gonna, she gonna,
Yeah, she's gonna leave us.
y'all come on in.
How is everybody? So good to see you. Thank you for joining us as 10 Times Better continues. See what the Lord is going to do today.
Sir.
Hey Donna. What's up, Lois?
Sister Albright, how are you?
I heard Sister Albright got saved.
Mm-hmm.
No, I got jokes.
Yeah. Must be mixed up.
Ava.
Ava. Hey Sylvia.
How you doing? Nicola. How you making out? 10 times better. Hey Kiefe. Lisa Knox, how you doing? Happy Valentine's Day to you also.
Yeah. Come on, y'all. Please share if you can. Share. As you guys are coming on, those of you that watch us on Periscope, this is the last month you can watch us on Periscope because Periscope is going away.
Is it?
Yeah, they're shutting it down. Yeah.
Why?
Because people are using YouTube and Facebook Live more than it's no longer viable for them to keep it up.
That's a major platform for a few people I know.
Okay.
Yeah, for a few people I know, that's a major platform.
Yeah, they let people know back, I think, in end of December, I think, to kind of start transitioning people over.
Okay.
But it had a good run though.
There's some weird stuff happening with these social media platforms. Yet 2 days ago, there was a picture of us distributing food on Facebook, on my page, and Facebook sent me a message that was against their standards for sharing, and it was. I'm like, what?
That's strange.
And that if I disagreed with their decision not to show it, because they took it down.
Okay.
They took down us feeding people.
Interesting. I'm telling you, we'll talk about that on the side.
Okay.
I think just some stuff is just interesting. That's all.
Ava says she never even heard of Periscope.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, Kiana. Hey, Thomas. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Robin Johnson is on just to take a few minutes.
Yep. Just only 2 minutes.
That's 2 minute Johnson right there.
Right. Turn into 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas. Kiana.
Yeah, Sonia's on here too.
Hey, Donna. Sonia.
Yeah, Sonia Powell's on here.
I didn't see it. Oh, I see. Hey, Sonia. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not quite understanding the social media platforms these days.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people are a little well, I can see why people are starting to push their own thing now as much more. I mean, and use social media as a tool, but drive stuff to their website because you don't have to worry about all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that what's happening now?
You're starting to see more people do that now because you don't have to worry about all the censorship, if you would say that, and worry about them shutting your video down and all of the stuff like that. So
yeah.
But
I really don't think they care.
Oh no, they're making so much money right now. This generation, when they want news, they don't go to CNN.com. They go to Twitter first or Instagram first to get the live comments about what's going on, and then go check news outlets later.
Wow.
Yeah. And okay, so 10 times better.
Yeah, man.
Video starts at 6. Today you're talking about God has given every man the ability to create who they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
We are what we think.
Yeah.
And that whole premise is a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Absolutely.
And our character reveals who we really are. That's really the main crux of what you're talking about today.
That was the heart of it.
Yes. This is actually, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this is actually going good. And to be as long and the new topics and the new.
Yeah. Stretching my creativity.
Yeah. Oh, stop. Stop. Right.
But the Bible is endless in its inspiration, so
you
can never really run out of gas.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that it's almost incredible that the Bible talks about as a person thinks, they become. Mm. Identity is created by our thought patterns. Mm. And we either have to decide to develop the identity of Christ in the image and likeness of God, or develop our own. And I think character is actually a revelation of what thoughts have been used to create a person.
Okay.
Because character really is the expression of who we are, what we think, what we stand for.
Right.
That whole integrity piece. So, if I'm thinking integrity thoughts and have integrity behaviors, my character will be known for integrity. If I'm doing the opposite, then it won't. And it really is up to the individual whether they're going to think the thoughts that God teaches, or think the thoughts that the world teaches. So we're back to, not being conformed, to the world, not letting our thinking be shaped.
Yeah. So
we create something that fits more in the world than we do in with God.
Right. Something that, you often talk about, we talk about mind in Ephesians 4, where Paul talks about we're being renewed in the spirit of our minds. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure most people look for the genesis of where a thought came from.
Okay.
We want to fix the fruit without fixing the root.
Absolutely.
And I've heard somebody say this before, and psychologists talk about it. No thought is original. Every thought we have about ourselves or the way we see the world was either an experience birthed, somebody said something to us. And it takes work to go back to, where did this behavior come from?
Yeah.
What birthed this thought process about myself?
And I think if we ask God to help us with that, I often try to get people to connect the dots.
Yes. Yeah.
Connect those dots backwards. And amazingly, you can do it if you try.
Yes.
And if what was that we said a couple years ago? If you have a problem remembering what you were thinking, you can remember what you were doing.
Yes.
And that will tell you what you were thinking.
Yes. Yes.
So we can connect the dots either through thoughts that we can remember or actions, but our actions really do have recall.
Right. They do.
Yeah. So you can fill in the blanks with what you were doing, and that'll tell you what you were thinking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember talking to some parents when their children were young, like maybe 5, 6, that kind of range, that 4 to 7 year old range. And they notice a drastic character change in their child. My first question is usually, what happened around that time?
Absolutely.
When did it start? Because something radically changes behavior of this child that young. Something had to happen to them.
Usually it's some kind of trauma.
Yes. And I don't know if they usually connect some event to, at 4, 5, 6 years old, you should be having fun playing games.
Yeah.
You don't turn inward that quick.
But not unless something happens.
Yeah, unless something happens to you. Yep.
And sometimes I think as parents, you have to guard yourself against being too busy to notice the subtle changes.
Yes.
That could indicate major circumstances or major events that have happened.
Yep.
And then sometimes, if we search internally and it's something we don't do, you can more quickly identify something going on in your child if you're honest about your own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, man. Look at your kids like, that's me right
there. Yeah.
But I mean, your honesty is so true. Some of the parents that I've seen that the child they have the most conflict one is usually the one most like them.
Absolutely.
and they're unwilling to admit they're fighting themselves and their child, rather than being honest, saying, "Look, that's me. Let me try to work something out in myself and in that child."
Because I think that self-identification makes you more equipped to deal with the child's problem if you approach it from a mature point of view. And you know what didn't work for you, so don't use it on the don't do that.
Right. Somebody told you, just get over it. Didn't work for you, so
Yeah, I'm just hey Ada, how you doing?
hey.
And Nancy, how are you?
Hi, Ada and Nancy. Oh, y'all put your questions in the comment section too. If you got questions, we can answer some now.
Yeah. So that whole that identity and thought is such a strong principle in the Word of God.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure that we want to take responsibility for this statement, that the individual that we are right now is the fruit of a succession of our thoughts.
Yes.
You know, we didn't just happen. We thought our way into this.
Absolutely.
And I'm kind of excited about this label series I'm trying to start working on in my head, because labels are either adopted or given to us.
Okay.
And each of those labels has a possible destiny in them. Throughout the Bible, you see people labeled with certain things, and those labels initially indicate what their future is going to look like.
Right.
You know,
right.
Woman with the issue of blood, that's a label. Woman at the well, that's a label.
Yeah.
You know, so there's some labels that indicate future, but those futures can be altered.
Right. Well, that's what Jacob did with Benjamin. Yeah, when he was born, his mother said, "Son of my sorrow," and he quickly changed his name so he wouldn't be identified with his mother's pain.
We're not naming him that. We
got named him that. Right.
You know, I wonder about some of the names that parents give their children now. And I think a moment of inspiration or imagination may not take into consideration that child has to carry that name into the future.
Yep.
And how will that name help or hurt that child in the future?
Yeah. So true. Wow. So so labels, that's actually gonna be a good series. That's gonna be very sensitive.
If I can get it, it's not gestating yet. It's just seeds of ideas right now.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping the Lord will bring it together for me.
I'm sure he will. Usually when you're doing something and you got to hear him write it down. That's what usually happens for me.
He gave me the categories. I'm just, how to start the conversation is really what's going on.
Ava said, I struggle more with the girls because of the emotional things I can't relate to. I get stuck sometimes, especially when I get uncomfortable, that I have to refocus. I love her.
Yeah. I think the discomfort is often a subconscious challenge. And the discomfort gives us a reason to back up rather than to step into something and allow some unrealized impacts to be used in a situation. I think a lot of times, it's like when you confront truth, a lie with truth. The person who's lying knows it's a lie, but they're offended by the truth that you're telling them.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes when we're in these situations with the relationships and people and we find ourselves feeling like we got to back up, it's because a tender spot in our consciousness has been touched. And that's a clue that I may be more equipped for this thing that I really believe I am.
Right. That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny talking about label and identity. I was watching a clip of this guy that went to prison, and he was saying, he was reflecting back how his dad was horrible to his mother, abusive, all that stuff, right? And kept sowing into him how bad his mom was and how bad women are.
Mm-hmm.
until he started as a child, started going at treating his mom the same way.
Mm-hmm.
He has a family, treats his wife and his kids the same way, and ends up in jail. And his whole premise was he wondered what his life would be if he had a father that showed him differently.
Yeah.
But again, that thing that he saw labeled him and gave him that identity of not only himself, but of other women. And it's crazy how we resent something that we see growing up and end up becoming.
Yeah. And it's really unfortunate that we missed the clue for deliverance, which is if I hated the way I was treated, that is absolute inspiration not to treat other people that way.
Yeah.
So you really become the threshold for a significant change.
Right.
If you'll just think, I didn't like that, so I'm not doing that to other people. Not I didn't like that, and I'm going to do it to other people. It's just silly.
Absolutely. But going back to what you said about Ava too, that was good. Children they touch your emotional sides.
Absolutely, and they touch stuff that's buried.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because they don't let you be moody. They don't let you be tired. It's of no concern to them.
It's like children are a revelation to you after a hard day.
Mm-hmm.
They still see something good in you, even though you've had the most horrible day of the year.
Yeah.
You know, they remind you there's something to be joyous about.
Absolutely. I want to be a kid again. So easy sometimes.
Mm.
So Robin says, what similarity is there regarding the vows to God and vows to your husband?
It appears to me, and this is kind of controversial, but I believe a lot of people will think this is true, Pastor Nick.
Mm-hmm.
The marital vows are circumstantial. Better or worse, sickness and health, rich or poor. It means if those circumstances occur, not if you go out and rob banks and then tell your spouse, well, you married me, so you got to stay with me. No, it's circumstantial. If the economy crashes and you lose your job, that's better or worse. Rich or poor, you lose all your money and not frivolously, but you have a couple turns. So they are circumstantial. Now, God's are not circumstantial because God is not bracketed or negatively impacted by time and circumstance.
Yeah.
So when our commitment to our vow to God is based on his ability to bring to pass what he has contracted or covenant with us. So we don't have to worry about circumstance. We just have to be careful that we don't slip into the flesh and allow our senses to take over where faith should be ruling us.
Yeah, that's good. Wow. One of these comments says somebody was it's called Tar Baby growing up because they were the darkest sibling.
Okay.
And then somebody tried
the family called them that?
Family called the lady Tar Baby.
Wow.
Because she was the darkest one. And then they tried to do that to her daughter and she stopped it immediately.
Absolutely.
Now those is fighting words right there, man.
Yeah, you might have said that to me, but now you're not going to do it to my child.
Yeah. You know what's interesting though, Bishop? Martin Luther King was more radical than people think. They love the whitewash version.
Yeah.
There's a clip out there where he talks about who made you dislike your uniqueness as a black person.
Yep.
Your skin tone, your nose, your lips, your hips, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
America has taught us, and I know we do stuff jokingly as black people, but America overall has taught us that anything that looks black or African is considered ugly, bad, and then we in turn do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
I know you talked about times like, they thought because somebody's light skin is automatic beauty, somebody's dark skin they're automatically not attractive.
And it's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Not true at all.
It's not true. And we, there was when we were in high school, or was it junior high, there was a girl who was dark.
Mm-hmm.
And in high school, everyone, including the white people, recognized that she was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so pretty, the guys called her God.
Okay.
She was just that good looking. But she was a very dark complected woman. But that was at a time when that was not the thing. You didn't see that on Ebony magazine. You didn't see that on Jet. You didn't see that on any. You saw the lighter complected people because we were convinced that darker was not good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's where all the lightning creams and stuff came from.
Yeah, the paper bag test and
all that, man. All that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, but here's the thing. People may say things to you, but you don't have to teach yourself what they're saying. You don't have to accept those things.
Right.
You know.
Right. Wow. Any of the questions? We got about 4 more minutes because we got to get off at 55.
Okay.
It's a whole book, Ava.
Yeah, Ada writing a chapter down here. That's our girl.
Okay. Right. Oh, here's Candy Gripper. Praise the Lord.
Oh man, I heard Candy got saved recently.
I don't know.
You're not sure.
She was barely doing right in church, and I don't know how she's doing outside church. I'm not sure. What happens when something traumatic happens with your child, and you didn't protect them, and now they blame you? Good question.
Well, I think there's a little bit more that has to be asked. Sometimes, and you know, I don't know the situation, but sometimes, if the child is aware that the parent knew and didn't protect, then the anger is appropriate. If the parent didn't know, and the parent has the conversation, okay, I didn't know what was going on, you know, and then you'll get the how couldn't you know type of thing. But if you didn't know, then you can't be held responsible for knowing. But if you did know, that's a rougher road with a child who's gone through trauma that we allowed sometimes because it's perceived we were trying to hold on to the perpetrator, hold on to the situation. So it's the question is, if you don't know, you don't know. But what you then do is try to do the best you can to help the child get through the trauma.
Yeah. Well, she said she didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
What's up, Pastor Grice?
Corey, sir. Wow. It's so crazy how your childhood just shapes you so much.
Well, it's supposed to.
Yeah. And then as an adult, it's so hard to unshape that. But with the work of the Holy Ghost, it helps.
Yeah. But it's a struggle.
Yeah, it is.
It's a struggle. You know, yeah. I'm not sure that enough parents realize that they're creating an adult and start giving them the skills and, you know, teaching them how to think instead of telling them what to think.
Yeah.
Which is a major problem. So when they get out, they don't know how to think on their own. You know, so they come up with all these crazy decisions and we wonder, well, why the heck did you decide to do that? Well, you never taught me how to think.
Right. Yep.
You know, you just told me what to think and what to do, and you never gave me any rationale for it.
Yep.
You know, so you get an adult that's impulsive and does not think things through because they've never developed the skill.
Absolutely.
Hey, First Lady Patrick, how you doing? Go ahead.
I'm saying, I look at Olivia, man. I'm like, I'm raising a Black woman in America. So she got to deal with racism, gender issues, being a woman, and I'm like. And I try not to be, I give her a little more challenges sometimes in a way that she can receive them at her age. Because I know, like I said, I'm raising an adult. And she's going to have to go into this world.
Absolutely.
With two things that are quote unquote maybe a setback to some people. And she's got to overcome that. Like you say around here, you don't care wingtip shoes.
I don't care wingtips or pumps. I don't care.
Yeah. And your month, whatever. You got to do.
Can you carry the ball? Can you take a hit? Can you score with the ball? That's all I want to know.
Right. Yep. Not, but you got an emotional upswing or downswing.
Yeah, and some people may see that as unfair, but I don't have female preachers and male preachers. I just have preachers.
Yep.
Because we all bring a set of potential disabilities to the arena.
Right. We try to work our way around this.
Yeah. Come on, man.
All right, we got to run, y'all. We'll be back. Actually, this one's actually pretty quick. We'll be back. It's over at 6:13.
6:13. I was that short.
Yeah, yeah. So, but you were introduced this first time back since what, November?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had about a couple months off. So,
okay.
We'll be back around 6:13, 6:14, and for our post discussion. Get your questions ready, get your notes out, and please, y'all, share as much as you can, so we can get as many people watching on as possible.
Absolutely.
All right.
See you in a few minutes.
See you in a few minutes.